Okay. You listen to people. Okay, we're on. Let me just send to say that we're on. I'll call you safe. Oh, Yosef is here. That means he's already on. We didn't tell him. Yosef Tzaddik, good morning.
Rabbi, good morning.
We're running a little late this morning. We had the honor to see a very special man, Aryeh Deri. You heard of Aryeh Deri?
Of course. Where is he?
He was just here in the shul, in the synagogue.
Oh, you should bring him to your class.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. And hopefully his message is Mashiach's coming. That's the bottom line. We got to call out. You heard him say that? No. He said that. I said, what's for us to do in America? Daven, Hashem, Mashiach. That's what we got to do. How do you like that?
Very much. Ay, ay, ay.
Okay.
So let me make the group because
you want to send the group that we're
yeah.
Yes. Okay, we're on Mem Dalet Amud Aleph. You have the Gemara? Mem Dalet Amud Aleph. The last thing we said, we spoke about the Peres Genisa. That the Peres Genisa are very sweet fruits, and it was so sweet that you had to go ahead and eat something salty to, as Tosfos says, because the heart was affected by the sweetness of the Peres, and they needed to eat salty foods. And after they had the salty foods, they went ahead and they had to have bread because it was too salty. The food it wouldn't be comfortable in their throat after just having so much salt. So therefore, they had to dilute it by having some bread. And therefore, the Mishnah says that the bread is tafel. The bread is secondary to the salty product, because the bread was not eaten for itself; it was just eaten for to get down the salty, to be able to handle the salty food that you just ate. And the Gemara now illustrates the sweetness of the fruits of the Peres Genusa. Now, Peres Genusa, they were from the Yam Kinneret. They grew around the area of the Kinneret, and these were amazing, amazing fruits. Now let's see the Gemara. The Gemara says, and let's see what else. Five. Second. It's interesting. The Kinneret, the Yam Kinneret is Ginusa. Why was it called the Kinneret? Because the fruits of the Kinneret were so sweet, like the voice of a kinnor, of a harp. That's how sweet they named it Kinneret symbol because of the fruit. Like we had the Gemara, was called Yericho because of the great smell of that a certain fruit that grew in Yericho. Therefore, they called the city, it was known for Yericho. And here we say that Kinneret was called Kinneret because of the harp, not because of the fruits that were sweet, like the voice of a harp. How do you like that? Yosef, you sent to the group?
Yes, I did.
Thank you very much. So the Gemara says the following. Oma Rabba Barachona. You have it? It's about 8 lines from the top. Gavi? It's Mem Dalet Amud Aleph, 44a. About 8 lines from the top. Oma Rabba Barachona. You have it? Ki havi ozlinan basrei Rabbi Yochanan lemechal perot ginosa. When we were going after Rabbi Yochanan to eat the perot ginusar. We were following him. We were walking with him, and he was eating the perot of ginusar. Ki havi bei meya. Good morning, Sammy. When we had 100 people, when we were 100 people walking after him, menaktinan leila chol chad v'chad asara. Every 10 of us would, every one of us, we had 100 people, we got him 1,000 fruits to eat. Now it sounds to me, is this, you would have thought it's an exaggeration, but it doesn't sound like an exaggeration. 1,000 fruits and 100 people, each one would pick, morning Shmuel Rave, 10 fruits for Rabbi Yochanan, and we would give him 1,000 fruits. Good morning, Sammy.
Oh, Tzadik.
Yes, Yosef said hello to you. And when we had 10 people walking with Rabbi Yochanan, everybody would bring him 100 fruits. Because at the end of the day, we got to get him 1,000 fruits. When we had 100 people, we each got him 10 fruits. When we had 10 people, we each got him 100 fruits. And every 100 and every 100 fruits, every 100 fruits, every 100 fruits, you would be able, was so large. It wasn't like small little fruits, like peanuts type of fruits. Every of the fruits, they were so large that you needed a basket the size of basket that could hold 3 sah. Now 3 sah is a tremendous amount of, we'll try to break it down how much that would be. And he would eat them, and he would swear the lo ta'am ziyuna, that he wasn't satiated. He would swear that he didn't really have food. He didn't really eat food. It's not really food. This is so sweet. It's like candy. You eat candy, you don't get full of candy. Now, first of all, we have to understand, what do you mean he swore? You're not supposed to swear about such things. So that's something that we needs further looking into. You don't swear about anything in general. I mean, sometimes it says that they would swear in order to give them chizuk, to do a mitzvah. If they have a yishtahara, if they would have an evil inclination coming upon them, they would swear to do mitzvah or something. But generally, we don't recommend it anyways. Today, no one should do that. But here, what's the purpose of swearing that I wasn't filled? I wasn't full. I ate 1,000 fruits. What's the purpose of swearing? So that needs further looking into. Now they break it down. Let's see over here. A sah contains 4 kavim. And the breakdown is a kav is 4 lugim. A lug has 6 eggs. So 100, it comes out, if you do the math, 100 fruits. Have a great day. It came out to be 4,320 eggs. The size of 4,320 eggs would be in 100 fruits. So, I mean, we're talking about thousands of eggs, size of eggs. I mean, it's hard to imagine such a thing, but it just shows you how sweet it was, and therefore you could keep on eating it. Like, you don't get tired of certain things that are so sweet. Another ice cream, 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 so on and so forth. So the Gemara said, "Ziyuna sakadaitach." You think he swore that he did not have. He swore, I did not taste food. What do you mean, didn't taste food? These fruits are food. What is it? Part of the food family. So what does he mean that he swore he didn't taste any food after having all the fruits? So I didn't have any fruit. I didn't eat any food. He meant I didn't have any food that fulfills me up. That's what he meant. I'm still not full. So the Gemara says, "Elaima ziyuna sakataita elaima mizona." Rabbi Yochanan swore that he did not taste anything that satiated him, that filled him up. That was what that's what these fruits are so sweet that you don't get filled up from it. Yes. Yeah. So we said yesterday with the avocado, it's a very good question, because if really because we found in halacha, we looked into it more, that many say that even if you would take eat the thing separate from the item, right? But if it's still eaten as part of, let's say you have a group of foods together. Let's say, for instance, if you have a salad, and then not every spoon of the salad. Let's say a fruit salad, and in the fruit salad there's apples and oranges and pears and grapes, and there's all these things that you make up, say, Berachos, but there's also hadamah there. So the fact that they're mixed together, you generally will take it out. You'll eat together everything, and therefore it gets one bracha. But even if you in your spoon, it only comes out the hadamah. But the fact is that it's still you're still eating it as a combination. It happens to be that in this spoon you only have this piece. You're not eating them, and you're not eating it 10 minutes apart. You're eating it as one thing, but in this spoon it came out one thing. So therefore it would seem like it's still part of that. It's still part of that batel. It's covered. It's tafel. Just like many say, if you have a bowl of cereal, right? So some say, and you go in and you have, let's say, Cheerios, and then there's a little milk left at the end of the cereal. Do you need to say a bracha on the milk that's left at the end of the cereal? So I've seen that, because the milk is just part of the cereal. I'm saying we have to see what all the opinions on them, if there are many opinions or not on the matter. But I'm saying, if you put a lot of milk in your cereal, you're doing it for the milk because you want to have a lot of milk. So maybe you would say a separate bracha on the milk, because you're not there. The milk is not serving as just to help get the Cheerios down. You're interested. You're interested in. I'm saying, but I have to see about the milk. Let's see if we can find it over here. I understand, but you're still doing it. It's still to help. Really, the main point why you're doing it is to help get it down. It might be tasty. Let's see, but you want to help get it down. So therefore, if you would have a lot of milk, let's see if they bring it over here. The Hilchos Brachot. Let's see if he. No, here it's not. So, okay, so that's so I'm saying, so that's a lot with the avocado also. See, the question is why you even when you have the salad is primarily hadamah, you have avocado, right? So if you pull a piece of avocado out, but you're really eating it as part of a salad. It's not like I'm having a separate dish of avocado and really the avocado was mixed together, right? It was mixed as part of the salad. Then you pulled out a piece of the avocado. So therefore, it would seem that many would say that the avocado would not require bracha, because you're still really eating avocado as part of that salad. Hear what I'm saying? Okay. I mean, but to avoid maybe the question, you could just keep eating it as together instead of pulling it out. You know what I'm saying?
Rabbi, but who says that the salad have to be pore priya adama? Why? Because there is avocado. Now we don't change the pore priya etz, because the etz is higher level than the Adama.
The fact that the eighth is higher level than Hadama, but if you have more Hadama than the eighth, and your intention is more for the Hadama than the eighth, you want
No, my attention actually is not have to be more for the Adama. It's not necessary, When I mix it together, I want all of them equally. Actually, I prefer to have more avocado, but avocado is like kind of more expensive, so I put less of it. You know what I mean? So kind of like I don't know how to
morning, Mike.
Morning,
put it
Rabbi.
down, but
Good morning.
Right, but the question is, I would think that your main intention is that you want to have this. Your main focus is the salad. Is the most of the ingredients of the salad. You're interested in eating salad, and you want
yes,
you like
salad
the
and not,
taste.
not necessary to be only adama. And I put avocado because I think the avocado, as you said, it's like more desirable. What you ask, what is the most desirable that you're doing? Like if I eat a pita with the shawarma inside, the desirable is the shawarma. The pita is the vehicle, but I still do for the pita because it's a higher level.
It's not just that it's a higher level, but it seems like the pita that the pita being that it's hamotzi, that's the main. That's considered the main.
Exactly. But it's still the vehicle for me to eat the shawarma and all the salads inside and everything there because again it's just the vehicle for me to eat all of them. It's not anything else beside that. But we're still considering it to be a more higher level, so we're doing the blessing for the pita. Here in the salad, in many times we add avocado because we think it's a better part of the salad, and you will see always when you go to do sushi, or you want to extra avocado, yes, it's going to cost you $1. But if you want extra cucumber or anything else, it doesn't cost you anything for extra because nobody considered it to be in a higher level.
Right. You see here in the Sefer, the laws of Berachos, it says sometimes it's difficult to determine which food which is the food that you mainly prefer. That's the one that you mainly desire. So the poskim rule in this case, the ingredient, the greater quantity is the ikar. When you're not sure what is the purpose why you're eating this food. You see, when you're having a salad, what would be the reason that now there is a concept, you will say, of having multiple ikrim. There are multiple things that are ikar. It's not just this, like we said, that when you have a wafer, a ice cream sandwich, the ice cream is also an ikar. The ice cream is according to Moshe Feinstein. The ice cream is ikar, and the wafer is also because mezonot from the 5 speed, and you want the taste of the wafer. So you'll say 2 brachot in such a case, according to Rabbi Feinstein. But a salad, usually a salad, you're mainly having the salad. The main thing that you want is, I would think, is eating a salad because the main thing is the salad. I don't know that you might enjoy also the avocado because it enhances the taste of the salad. But I would think that you're interested in what you really want is having a salad. That's what you're really interested in eating. Is that your main focus? You're saying no, you want the salad and you want the avocado. That's what you're saying.
And so if I do a guacamole, okay, whatever you say that, the avocado salad, so I say priaetz.
Again, guacamole is what the avocado is broken down. What is that guacamole?
Yeah.
But I'm saying, but that's usually a spread. Usually you're using the guacamole to enhance something else, to use it like you're not eating it for itself, right? You want to be able to eat the bread. So you go ahead and you put cream cheese on the bread.
Or some corn cracker, like
a cracker, right? But the point is, you wanna. That's just the point of the guacamole, whatever you call it, is to help be able to eat the other food. It's not that it's this. The purpose is not for as much for itself, as much as to give flavor to something else, like a dip. So all the dips, you wouldn't say a bracha on the dip, because the dip is there to help eat the food. So you dip it into it. It's not there for the dip. You're not coming to eat the dip. And I'm interested in eating the other foods, but I want to flavor the other foods, so it's more of a flavoring. It's the purpose is to help the other thing. So if the purpose is to help the other thing, so then you just say the bracha on the other thing, and you don't say the bracha on this item that's here to enhance the flavor of the other food. See, it says like the ikar is the food that you want. The secondary food, the toffel, is served to enhance the primary food. The second thing is having to help the other food. Right? Look at ketchup and French fries. I dip the French fries into ketchup. I'm not interested. I want the ketchup to help. It's coming to help the French fries. I should enjoy the French fries. I'm coming to eat French fries. I'm not coming to eat ketchup. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I would think from these things that if they're coming to enhance the foods, and then you just make the bracha on the ikar. Okay. So the Gemara continues. Rav Avohu achal ad havishorak ledutva me'aputei. Rav Avohu, he ate from the fruit of ginosa until a fly would be able to slip slip off his forehead because of the juices of the moisture of those fruits. You know, fruits are very watery, a lot of moisture, and as a result of the fruits, the fattiness of the fruits, that he was able, that the fly, that his head, his forehead, became more, he became more moist, more sweat came into him, and the fly could even slip off. That's what happened. That's how much he ate. Rabbi Ami, I mean to say that it didn't satiate. Kept on eating and eating, because those fruits don't fill you up. They're so sweet. Rav Ami, Rav Asi have ochli adenosa mazayu. They would eat until some of their hair would fall out as a result of this eating of this fruit. Rav Shimon ben Lakish have ochel ademorid. He ate until and it's probably when I think these people, once it happened, they stopped. Maybe they realized it reached too much, because he says he ate it at the morid. Rav Shlokish ate it until he actually affected his mind. That means he wasn't in 100% clarity of mind, because he was like drunk from all these fruits that he ate. Got him drunk, so to speak. It affected him. V'amalu Rabbi Yochanan l'debei Nesiya. Rabbi Yochanan, as you know, was Rabbi Shlokish's brother-in-law. He was looking out for his brother-in-law. He told the Beit Nesiya, V'mishadilu Rabbi Yehuda Beit Nesiya ba'lushia basrei. He would send people. He would send a group of people. The Nasi would send people to help Rav Shimon Lakish Maisile Lebeite and help him bring him back home, bring him home, because he was not in the proper mindset. He wasn't, as a result of all these fruits. An obvious question we have to also ask: why did they eat so much of these fruits? This world is not about indulging, and it's kedoshim tiyu. Says that, in the Torah you have to be holy. You shouldn't overdo the pleasures of life. So we have to understand what's needs understanding of why did they eat so much of these fruits? As it's called, are they overdoing it? Are they overdoing the pleasures? Or unless maybe it was maybe it was a time period of Yom Tov, was a special mitzvah of Simcha and Yom Tov. So maybe that's when they ate, these large amounts of these fruits, perhaps. I'm saying, but there's a special mitzvah of Simcha and Yom Tov, and also Shabbat. There's also the idea of oneg on Shabbat. So I'm saying, but again, but maybe if it's eaten in a way, and again, even like you said, it's also there's a concept. Even on Shabbat, the person has to know where the boundaries are. But I presume that's maybe he was doing it in a way in a mitzvah, some sort of, and he felt it wasn't. He felt maybe he wasn't overdoing it.
When it comes to eating on weekly, you have to eat so much, right? Like
Right. I mean, you can eat more foods in honor of the Shabbat, but I presume, but even on Shabbat, a person has to act within a certain, there's certain levels of simcha, certain levels you should do more on Shabbat. We honor the Shabbat, but it doesn't mean that on Shabbat the person should act like should get drunk, right? We will not. People should, you want to drink on Shabbat, have to enjoy, but shouldn't get, drunk. They said it's too far when people get drunk. Ki Osi Rav Dimi Ama, Rav Dimi came to Bavel from Eretz Yisrael. He said the following: Ir achat hoyselo Yana HaMelech Bahar HaMelech. There was a city. When Rav Dimi came to Bavel from Eretz Yisrael, he said Yana HaMelech. He had a city Bahar HaMelech. It's one of the places in the mountains of Yehuda. And 1 second. No, that's why the Judean mountains. And what did he do? He said the following. He said, B'yanai HaMelech, he had a city in the Judean area, she'motzia mimena shishim riboy siflei Torah, that they would go ahead and 600,000 plates of tuna. They would serve for the kotzei teinim, the workers who picked figs. They picked figs the whole week, Erev Shabbat, Erev Shabbat. The workers that picked figs, they had so many workers that you had to feed them 600,000 plates of tuna. That's how many workers there were. It sounds like they were going to be they could export for a lot of figs, and from that place. That's how blessed the area was that it was able to produce so many figs. It says they would take out 600,000 bowls of sliced tuna. And to serve Me'erev Shabbat, Le'erev Shabbat. That was for the week. You need an extraordinary amount of food to feed them, to feed the people each week. There's so many people working in this area in the Judea. And the Gemara continues. Ki asa Ravin, when Ravin came to Bavel from Eretz Yisrael, he said, Ilan echad hayalol Yanai HaMelech. Yanai HaMelech had a certain tree, one tree Bahar HaMelech in that area. Shahaya moridim imena arboim sa gozolot. You were able to produce from that tree how many pigeons? How many nests of pigeons were on that tree? There was 40 sa. 40 sa is a tremendous amount. We saw before about how many, about the Peres Ganisa, about 1,000 fruits, which we saw before that the 1,000 fruits, the 100 fruits, you're able to fill up 3 sa from 100 fruits. And we saw that the 1,000, how many thousands of eggs and so on and so forth. And here we see that was 3 sa. And here he took out 10 times 3 sa, more than 10 times, 40 sa of pigeons. Mishalosh brechot b'chodesh, 3 times a month. So like every 10 days, they brought down from this tree 40 sa of pigeons. That's how amazing the blessing was. Now, if you have so many pigeons, no, we said 3 sa was 100 fruits. 100 large fruits equaled 3 sa. No, and we're saying there was we're saying the amount of pigeons, there was 40 sa of pigeons, a tremendous amount, thousands of pigeons, tens of most probably every month you'll be able to take out from this tree. 40 sa and 3 times a month. The point is, we're showing you the great blessing that was in Eretz Yisrael during the time of the Beis Hamikdash. The Kiasi Rav Yitzchak came to Bavel from Eretz Yisrael. He talked about, you see, it sounds like they come back from Eretz Yisrael and they're talking about what once was. They left the hero of great rabbis. Rav Dimi comes to Bavel, to Babylon, from the Holy Land. Ravin comes to Bavel also from the Holy Land. And Rabbi Yitzchak comes to Bavel from the Holy Land. All these rabbis are coming outside the land of Israel. They're going to the place of the real Galut, the real exile, and they're talking about what they heard about in Israel. Do you know what they're talking about in Israel? In Israel, they're talking about what once was, what the blessing that we once had, and we lost it, and let's get it back. Let's do tshuva. Let's repent. Ki asi Rav Yitzchak Omar, Ir achat ha'sev Eretz Yisrael. There was, we just, by the way, Shmuel Rave and Michael Dahan, we just had Aryeh Deri here in the shul. Aryeh Deri from Israel was just right here a few minutes ago. And we spoke to him.
Nice.
And I spoke to him and I said, what could we do here in America for Eretz Yisrael? He pointed to the Aron Kodesh. We have to daven. He said, Mashiach's coming. That's what he said. How do you like that, Shmuel?
I love it.
How do you like that? Mike, you heard that?
I did, Rabbi. I met him. He came one time in Morocco when I was a little kid. So I remember him.
Yes, so he was here right before, right here.
Beautiful.
Rav Yitzchak said, he asked me what we're learning. I said, we're learning Maseches Brachot. So he said, the Gemara says, you want to be a chassid, you know, I think it says you learn Brachot, you become very pious. He asked Rav Yitzchak Amar. Rav Yitzchak said, there was a city in Eretz Yisrael, the Gufnit Shma. It was called Gufnit. Shehayah Shmonim Zugot. It had 80 pairs of Achim Kohanim. In that city, there were 80 pairs of brothers. There was 80 brothers that were Kohanim. Nesuim Lishmonim Zugot Achayot Kohanot. They were married to the daughters of Kohanim. So what does that mean? They said in Eretz Yisrael, they were very careful in the yichus, in the lineage, who your families, who you marry. There were 80 brothers who were Kohanim, who married 80 pairs of sisters who were daughters of Kohanim. So imagine you have 80 families of Kohanim, and these 80 families of Kohanim, let's say there were brothers. Each family had two, let's say they had at least 2 kids and 2 sons, and there was 80 families of brothers that married 80 families of sisters, and they were all from Kohanim. The brothers were Kohanim, and the sisters were daughters of Kohanim. That's how many people there were, And that's how, and that's what they did in those days. However, but the rabbis today, they have checked from Surah to Nada. By the way, you should know Rabbi Yehuda Nastin, Rabbi Yehuda Chassid says the brothers shouldn't marry two brothers shouldn't marry two sisters. That's like a late. Now, some people say that that's not. He was only giving that instruction for his own family, and people. I know someone who did. Two brothers did marry two sisters today. Not everyone follows. Not everyone takes that stringency upon themselves of two brothers not married two sisters. But here it's clear in the Gemara, they used to marry two brothers married two sisters, and they did not find throughout Bavel, and they checked in Bavel from Surah to Narda, and they didn't find Kohanim marrying Kohanot Babim Notei Rav Chizda, except the daughters of Rav Chizda, the Havei Nesivin L'Ram Bachama L'Maruk Bachama. They were married to two brothers. We have a case of two sisters, the daughters of Rav Chizda. They married two brothers, Rami Bachama and Maruk Bachama, and even that was not the same lineage of the same level, meaning Kohanim marrying the daughters of Kohanim. It wasn't that. Even though they were daughters of Kohanim, the men, the brothers, were not Kohanim. So what does this illustrate? This illustrates how much we've lost. What used to be, what it used to be. There used to be so many Jewish people. And now we have much less as a result of destruction, as a result of the Churban, and also it shows you how people would marry Kohanim, would marry the daughters of Kohanim. In one city, you had 80 brothers marrying the sisters from daughters of Kohanim, and we don't have that today. So they say this highlights the great emphasis that the Jews in Eretz Yisrael placed on preserving the untarnished purity of the Kohanim. And therefore, by Kohanim marrying daughters of Kohanim, marrying within the family, also that was something unique. And therefore, but that we don't have so much anymore. Amar Rav says, Kol Suda she'ein bo melach. If you have a meal that does not have salt in the meal, if you don't have salt to eat with the food, eino suda. It's not a real meal because it's not real. It doesn't have the real taste. That's one of the reasons why we have salt. When you say hamotzi lechem min haaretz, you dip it into the salt. You want to give taste to the bread. You say a bracha to give taste to the bread. So if a person has a meal without any salt, it's not a meal. It's not considered a chashuv, a meal that's important. So there's salt in the food then it does the trick, right? But technically, there's other reasons why we dip the bread into the salt. Now, and the Gemara concludes, Amar Rav Chia bar Abba Rav Yochanan Kol Suda she'ein bo sarif. Any meal that doesn't have a food that's moist, that's like liquidy, like a soup, ain't a suda. It's also not considered a meal of great importance. It's interesting, on Shabbat, we have soup. Friday night, at least we have soup. Many people, at least in the Ashkenazic world, we have soup Friday night. It enhances the meal. It gives it a greater, it's not just you have your regular food, you have soup also. And the soup gives chashivut, gives prominence to the meal. What? I mean, you can keep it on this. We have cholent on Saturday. It's hard, but we have. So that's something. So therefore, that's what he tells us. I mean, obviously, why does the rabbi tell us about if you don't have salt, it's not a suda. It's not really an important meal. If you don't have soup, it's not an important meal. So obviously, he's telling us most probably, like we said, sometimes if you want to let's say when it's called Yom Tov and you want to honor the Yom Tov, make sure you have certain types of foods that be considered a Suda. Or when, or so that's maybe what's the significance? Why is he telling us it's not a Suda? So maybe he's trying to tell us that when you have a mitzvah to honor by having a Suda, on Shabbat and Yom Tov, these are some of the things that will be considered in today's day and age. We consider a Suda even if you don't have soup at the Suda, but it's something that's enhances the meal greatly. Okay, I want to wish everyone a beautiful day, a beautiful Shabbat, and we'll be back on Sunday at 10 o'clock. No, Sunday, I might not be on Sunday, so I might have to go attend someone's asking me to attend something. So if I'm on, we'll send to the group. If not, we'll be back on Monday. Have a great day, everybody.
תודה רבה, רבי. שבת שלום.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you.
Rabbi, have a beautiful day. Thank you.
Beautiful day. You too.
Shabbat
Thank
shalom.